You know, it's wrong to tell an American they don't have the rights anymore. I fought for those rights, and I wanted to be able to express them. The First Amendment means the world to me. On top of that, the other thing is, which really solidified it, when my team told me, "Coach, can't you just give in?" What kind of coach would I have been if I gave in to him?
This is so exciting for all of us, but especially for you. How do you feel in light of the Supreme Court's ruling?
A lot of conflicted thoughts and feelings on it. It's been so long. It's been 7 years going into the 8th football season. So it has been a long time, and it seems weird that it's actually over. But the best part of it is knowing God stood by me the whole time. Everybody stood by me the whole time, and that we actually won in the end. And I know that I did nothing wrong.
So this took 7 years to go through the court systems all the way up to the highest court in the land, and that's a lot of work, but it paid off because it's paved the way for so much with regard to religious liberty. And it all started with you taking a knee and praying on the football field. But what motivated you to do that?
It all started, I was watching Facing the Giants. I was a brand new baby Christian, and...
Okay, whoa, wait a minute. This whole thing, this Supreme Court case started with you watching the Kendrick Brothers movie Facing the Giants.
Facing the Giants. I tell you, you don't get answers from God like that very often. But man, he came down, smacked me in the gut. I was on my knees, bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I'm in. I will give you the glory after every game, win or lose, right there on the battlefield. I kind of stole it from those guys. So that's how it all started, just from a simple movie.
Wow. And then what motivated you once you were coach to say, you know what, I'm going to go take a knee on the 50-yard line?
Yeah, well, you know, that's the field of battle. And really, it just started out. You see the professionals do it. I probably got that idea from, who knows, Tebow or anybody else. The professionals have always done that. And after the game, that's where you meet with the other team. Good game, you give the high fives, you talk to the other coaches. As soon as that's over, we usually go our separate ways. On the way back, I would just stop because I'm at midfield. I'd face the scoreboard and just thank God for what the guys did on the field, and I was peace out. I joined my team. So It started out simple.
Is it true that you weren't the only one that was out there at Bremerton High on the field praying, that you had members of the public and the media and others joining you?
Yeah, it started out just myself, and it kind of evolved from there. I had some of the team that said, "Coach, what are you doing out there?" I said, "Well, I'm just thanking God for what you did." And they said, "Can we join you?" Well, of course, it's free country. You could do whatever you want to do. So they started coming out. Then my team captains, after about a year, they started asking, "Hey, can we invite the other team? Hey, this is your football team. You're the captains. If you want to invite somebody, go ahead." And they started inviting the other team. Then we had both teams out there. And then we had guests that would come out, the mayor and some other people, people from the crowd, families and stuff like that. And it kind of evolved over the years. And, this wasn't a short process. This was 8 years in the making of that happening until the school district obviously went sideways.
So this got presented like you were some rogue religious guy out there against everyone else's opinion, wanting to pray. And that's the opposite of the real deal. There were people wanting to pray with you. You were just like, "Hey, this is your school, this is your game, this is your team. If you guys want to pray, I'm not going to stop you."
Right. And the crazy thing is I really work with the school, the superintendent and the principal, the head coach. All these people are my friends. We've been working together for almost a decade. So none of us really wanted this to happen. So it was so awkward when they said, "Hey, just stop praying with the kids." I said, "All right, your school, your rules, fine. We'll take you guys could take that away from them." And they did. And I went back to just doing what I did originally, my original covenant of thanking God on the 50 after every game. I went back to that. And then the crazy thing happened, and it blew up, came a big thing overnight. We had almost the entire town of Bremerton. We had thousands of people that stormed onto the field, and everybody was out there praying. Imagine thousands of people praying on a football field.
Joe, I mean, this is unbelievable to me. This wasn't thousands of people coming onto the football field to get rid of you. They were coming to join you, to partner together with you and send up all of their prayers to heaven, thanking God for keeping everybody safe and for the chance to play football.
Yeah, to be a part of their life.
How did it happen that the school confronts you and says, "You can't do this anymore"?
Well, it originally started, they got a compliment from one of the other school districts, saw what we were doing and said, "What your football program is doing is awesome." And of course, every time you get a compliment, you want to have an investigation. they started an investigation. They wanted to make sure that Kennedy wasn't doing anything wrong. And that's the way it all started, was just a simple investigation. And then their lawyers got involved, and they have their own agendas.
So you reacted to the confrontation from the school telling you to stop by saying, okay, I'm just going to go back to praying for myself. So did you tell the kids and the community, I don't want you to pray with me anymore?
Well, I had to walk a fine line. They got a rule that you cannot encourage nor discourage. So I had to draw that fine line. I said, I would hope that you guys let me do this in my own way. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing. Everybody wanted to join me still. And I said, I just ask that you respect, let me have my moment, thanking God the way it originally did. So when they went to go do their fight song, where the whole team sings a fight song for the school, I took that opportunity to take a knee, and it just worked out really nicely, and I thought we were good. But then they said, oh, we can still see you. And they wanted me to completely stop that, and that's the line I cannot cross. Yeah.
So you could pray if you go hide inside a room somewhere or go crawl underneath a school desk where nobody can see you, but you just can't be out here where people can actually see you publicly praying.
Right.
That's not America.
No, it isn't. And that's why I chose to fight. Being a Marine, that boiled my blood as a Marine. I fought to defend the Constitution of the United States. And that actually means something to me. Every time I took the oath of enlistment to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that means something to me. It makes my hair on the back of my neck rise up every time I say that, because I take that deep to heart. I've seen the way the rest of the world is, and America is so awesome. And if we are losing our God-given rights here in America, man, there's no hope. So I was like, hey, even though I'm not on active duty anymore, guess what? I could still fight for our Constitution and stand up for what's right.
Man, I'm so proud of you. People who are watching this right now are so proud of you. Joe, did you have family members, well-meaning loved ones, who tried to say, Joe, back off a little bit. You know, you could lose your job. This may really just look bad for the school, and there might be some backlash. Did they say that to you, and how did you react to them?
Yeah, not only did my team did that first, because they wanted me to stay. They wanted me to just do whatever it took to stay with the team. And, you know, the weakness in me, I really kind of wanted to. You know, I was weak in the flesh of that, because I'm giving up the only thing that I have just enjoyed more than anything in my entire life. This is my calling, to be a coach and to be with these young men. So not just that, but I had three kids, two at the high school and one at the middle school, that were attending Bremerton. So there was a lot of pressure there with their peers. And on top of it, my wife, she was the human resource director for the school district. So yeah, she didn't want me to get in a fight with the school district and the superintendent and be on the news and, you know, bring our family into all this mess.
What was your motivation for taking a knee when there was so much pushing against it?
One of the big reasons, like I said, was being a Marine. You know, it's wrong to tell an American they don't have the rights anymore. I fought for those rights, and I wanted to be able to express them. The First Amendment means the world to me. On top of that, the other thing is, which really solidified it, when my team told me, Coach, can't you just give in? What kind of coach would I have been if I gave in to them? Could you imagine that? I asked them to do everything. Get out there, and I know it's hard, but you're going to give me 48 minutes. Now all of a sudden, I'm going to quit because it's become uncomfortable for me? What kind of role model would I have been? I mean, what example does that say? Or if I would have taken the school's advice and run away and go hide who I am, what kind of message does that send? You should be embarrassed on who you are? I mean, we preach diversity and inclusion, and here all of a sudden, I'm not going to be the sponsor and the role model for that? No, not on my watch. So, yeah, I had to do this. There was no other way to go through this.
Joe, if you could go back now, 7 years into the past, would you do anything differently? And if so, what?
If I could do anything differently, and you know, the what ifs are a terrible way to live, I would have been able to explain to the school a lot better of what was happening and why it was happening. I think we just got our wires crossed, and they had some other thing on their mind of, you know, you still see it on the news. Oh, Kennedy wanted to do this and make it a big production and all this. I would have loved to have just clarified, I don't want any of this. I want to just be able to walk out there after a game, shake hands with the team, shake hands with the other coaches, take a knee for 15 seconds and walk off. Talk about the most benign thing. You wouldn't even notice it. It looked like I was sitting there tying my shoe.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Thanks for watching this clip from my interview with Joe Kennedy. Please like and leave a comment on this video. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another episode.